Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about some of my favorite manifesting techniques to help you manifest your dream life. I'm going to hop right in, but before I do, make sure you hit the like button and let's get started. I've been reading your comments, and one of the things that I have noticed you guys saying a lot is that sometimes when you are trying to manifest, you feel like there's a time delay, or you feel like things aren't happening as quickly as you want. Essentially, what you're saying is that things aren't happening on your timeline. And when it comes to time delays, it could be one of two things. It could be something that you believe takes a little bit of time for it to come in. So maybe if you want to manifest your soulmate, you might think, well, it takes a while to find the right person. Maybe deep down you believe that you have to, date around and kind of date the wrong people before you meet your perfect match, before you meet your perfect soulmate. I think subconsciously a lot of people have this idea that you're never just gonna find your soulmate immediately. You're not gonna just go out and it's not gonna be the first person you meet or the first person you date. That's not usually how it happens. So it could be some kind of belief like that that is causing your time delay, and it's making it so that you feel like you need to maybe date a lot, or maybe date some people who are possibly wrong for you first before you actually meet someone who is the right match. If that's the case, if that's your belief, whatever it may be, you will see that reflected in your experience, in your reality. And for some people, it's not this terrible thing. They're like, yeah, it's fine. I kind of went on a few dates and I didn't really click with any of them and it was no big deal. And then they'll go on and find the right person because that was kind of their belief and it doesn't cause them like too many issues. But on the other hand, if your belief is causing some kind of block because you have a more limiting belief or a more restrictive belief around this issue, then it can make it feel like you're waiting and waiting and it just is not happening. So if you have something that you've been trying to manifest for a really long time, this is usually the case, because whenever you've been wanting something for a really long time, chances are you've put a lot of attachment onto this thing. There's a lot of baggage around this topic, this issue. Whenever you think about it, you might even have like negative feelings and emotions that resurface. You might even get like slightly triggered by it. And it's usually something deeper. Maybe you have a belief that you're unlovable. Or maybe you have a belief that you're not good enough. Or maybe you have a belief that you're a really difficult person to be with. You might be one of those people who just think, no one can be with me because who would be able to handle me? And those kinds of belief systems are a lot more limiting. They're a lot more restricting, because what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a certain box, in a certain identity, and you won't be able to break out of that until you allow yourself to, because it's you who's put yourself into this little box. It's you who have restricted your own freedom and your own experiences. So all of the experiences that you're going to see and have are going to be the ones inside this box. They're going to be very limiting and restricting, and they're always going to perfectly reaffirm your beliefs. So I talk a lot on this channel about scripting and a lot about programs that can help you eliminate your limiting belief systems. And I also talk a lot about reprogramming and expanding your beliefs and your identity. And affirmations and scripting is a great way to do this. I totally forgot about this, but I was watching a video and she was saying that a fun little trick that she does is she'll write down her limiting belief about why she's not getting what she wants. So maybe you'll write down that you're too picky, or maybe you'll write down that you're hard to love, whatever it is. And then underneath that, she'll debunk it and list all of the reasons why that's not true and why that's just a limiting belief system and it's completely false. And then underneath that, she'll write the new belief. I am very lovable. Everybody loves me. I'm so easy to love. Everyone I meet falls in love with me. Whatever the new belief system you want to embody is. Some people will also just write down their limiting belief system and just cross it out right on the page so that visually they can see that it's something that they're letting go of. It's something that they no longer believe to be true. And then again, they'll write their new belief system and an affirmation that goes along with that. My next tip is conviction. When you want something and how badly you want something, and the conviction that you have behind what you're able to create in your own life is the driving force that's gonna get you there. So if you want something but you're pretty casual about it and you're like, I don't really care, then whether or not it happens, doesn't really matter to you. When you're manifesting, when you're scripting, when you're visualizing, the amount of conviction behind the thing that you want, the amount of feelings behind the things that you want, is the momentum that is going to get you there. So the more feelings and emotions you can evoke while you're visualizing or while you're scripting, the more momentum you are creating to get you to where you want to be. And one thing that really helps with this is taking control. But the funny thing about that is what comes right after is releasing and letting go of it. This part is always difficult for a lot of people because you're basically getting so invested when you're thinking about all of the feelings and emotions and all of the joy and happiness that you will have when you get your manifestation, when you get so deeply entrenched into it. It can be difficult for people to immediately release it afterwards, but this is a very crucial step. Doing this will allow you to get everything so much faster. A fun little example that I had this week with this actually is I really wanted something and I really wanted someone to let me have this thing. But thinking back, I don't really know that I had any business wanting them to give it to me, but I was very strong in my conviction. I really wanted it almost to like an entitled point where I was like, it's already mine. It belongs to me. It is mine. What do you mean? So when they said no initially, I was like, that was rude and disrespectful because that was already mine. So I don't know what you're talking about. But what I decided to do was to just completely drop it and to just not care and completely release and let go. And I really forgot about it. And then a couple weeks went by and they were like, actually, you can just have it. And I was like, I know because it was already mine. But sometimes, even if you want something really, really badly, if it's not happening, trying to force the situation always just makes things so much worse. So releasing and letting go sometimes will allow things to be able to come back to you, and actually a lot more quickly, because if you were to force the situation, you can actually cause even more resistance and more blockages that will basically just prevent you from getting the things that you want. And my last tip is to take back control. And the way that you do this is by taking responsibility. I really struggle with this personally when I felt like I was at a really low point in my life. It was so much easier to blame circumstances, other people, to feel like a victim, to feel like life was just happening to me and not because of me or not for me. But the second that you take responsibility, you truly take back your power. And when you take back your power, you realize that you are always co-creating with the universe. You realize that life truly does happen for you and not to you. And when you are in that state of mind, when you have strong convictions about what you want, when you take back the power and the control over your own life, you will be able to create and manifest so much faster. And a good example of this is whenever you're in a group situation and somebody messes up or makes a mistake and they are kind of like shifting blame and not accepting responsibility, everyone around tends to react negatively towards that. But instead, if they were to just take responsibility and just say, hey, I made a mistake, that was my bad, everyone usually just has a much more positive response to that. And it's a good reminder that no matter what, good or bad, it's always better to just take responsibility for your life, because you are the master of your reality, you are the master of your experiences. And if you don't take back your power, you are truly allowing things to just happen to you. But when you step up and take control of your life, you can then create the life of your dreams and really experience what it's like for life to happen for you. Okay, that's it for today's little video. I hope that you found value in this. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with someone who might also find it to be impactful. And I will see you next time. Bye!